Good morning, boys. The hymn we would sing were we together this morning would be 169. That's the one that begins, "My Lord, what a morning. My Lord, what a morning. Oh, my Lord, what a morning when the stars begin to fall." You may recall some weeks ago I used something from the book of Proverbs, and it goes like this. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Remember? I think you do. Yesterday I received an email, which I loved, and it was a father talking about something that he was reading with his son. And he was reading some E.B. White with his son. He was not, however, reading any of the big three, namely Charlotte's Web, Stuart Little, Trumpet of the Swan. He was actually reading an essay with his son called Here is New York. For those of you who don't know, E.B. White was an enthusiastic New Yorker. He loved this place to his bones. And in 1948, he wrote an essay about his thoughts on New York City. It has a wonderful line in it, and it goes something pretty close to, "Here in New York, you feel the vibrations of great deeds and tall tales. Amazing things have happened here." So I decided, boys, this morning to tell you about something remarkable that happened here in your city today in 1944. That was a long time ago. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, what could that have been? I shall explain. There used to be something in this country called I Am an American Day. Sounds very old-fashioned, doesn't it? But it happened. And they started in the late 1930s, and they got bigger and bigger. And in 1944, as you heard, here in New York City, they decided to do the biggest one of them all. And estimates go all over the place here, but this much is for sure. Immense crowds gathered in Central Park for this I'm an American Day. And the big occasion was to be the naturalizing or the swearing in of new citizens, tens of thousands of new Americans. And the person they chose to give remarks at this was a fellow by the name of, are you ready? He was a judge. Judge Learned Hand. Is that a name, boys? Can you imagine? Learned Hand. And Learned Hand, what would you do addressing tens, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people about becoming an American? Well, I shall read to you some of what he said, because it's quite remarkable. Ready? What then is the spirit of liberty? I cannot define it. I can tell you only my own faith. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which is not too sure that it is right. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which seeks to understand the mind of other men and women. The spirit of liberty is the spirit which weighs their interests alongside its own without bias. The spirit of liberty remembers that not even a sparrow falls to earth unheeded. The spirit of liberty is the spirit of him who, near 2,000 years ago, taught mankind that lesson it has never learned, but never quite forgotten, that there may be a kingdom where the least shall be heard and considered side by side with the greatest. And now, in that spirit, that spirit of an America which has never been, and which may never be, nay, which never will be, except as the conscience and courage of Americans create it, yet in the spirit of that America which lies hidden in some form in the aspirations of us all, in the spirit of that America for which our young men are at this moment fighting and dying, in that spirit of liberty and of America, I ask you to rise and with me pledge our faith in the glorious destiny of our beloved country. A lot to think about there, isn't there? All right. On to a very happy occasion, a birthday. Happy birthday, 6th grader Tim and Jane. All right. Smile Brigade, for those of you interested, this afternoon at 3:30. All you have to do to be part of it is just come prepared to make someone smile with a joke or a story. All right. To work.